Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is the best detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. You're about to watch the one and only 24 hours of Le Mans in segments. We will be racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to the racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit using a Fanatec CSL DD Plus wheel and load cell pedal set, without any assists except for what exists in the car. There are collisions and damage, tire wear, and fuel use, including virtual energy. There's plenty of racing to come. Click on subscribe now so that you don't miss out on any of it. Volume up and let's go.
Okay, we are in the pit box just before our 24th stint, and you can see here we have 55 and 35, 14 and 38. Quite a mess in the tires, so we are going to go for mediums all around as it's getting warm, and we are going to keep it at 21 for now. 21 psi. We're going to keep our fuel strategy the same. There is no repairs available even after that massive hit on the way into pit lane here. Alright, and we did have a big spin, so here we go. This pit stop, 47 seconds. New set of tires. And these are the mediums, so let's see how they do. We really should have just put on some soft tires and gone fast. Hopefully we can, okay, we're about to get lapped here. We're gonna get lapped. There's the Alpine, and we have 10 seconds left in the pit. We're now in gear, on the ground and rolling. There's our stop and go for speeding in the pits.
So we exit out into our 24th stint, and there is our penalty again. We came into the pit lane with our speed limiter off, and I believe we may have pushed the button on the wheel to activate it and inadvertently pressed it again, so that turned it off almost immediately.
Very slippery tires.
So as we crossed the line, we were going too fast. Here is the number 36 Alpine. As you can see, he is coming into the first chicane in the Mulsanne Straight as we are just leaving Tetre Rouge. And right now it looks like a close race as he is within sight, but we are actually one lap behind now in the number 8 as a result of a number of spins a couple of stints ago. And we have been trying to catch up ever since. And we were able to gain a few seconds, 15 or 20 on each stint. But again, these spins are costing us 10 to 15 each time. 10 to 15 seconds each time. So the comeback is happening very slow, and we are starting to run out of time. There is just under 6 hours left in the race. And here we are, the number 8 comes through the second chicane, down the Mulsanne Straight. Now the stop and go penalty that we have to serve is 10 seconds in the pit lane. But it's very tricky because if you come in or you request to stop and serve it by pressing the pit button, the crew will prepare an actual pit stop for you. And it will actually cost you time to recharge and refuel whatever you've just used, even though it's very minimal. But once you have your service started, you cannot serve that stop and go penalty. So right now we are waiting until the third and last lap that we're able to serve that penalty, and that way it will automatically be the only thing that we can do in the pit lane once we come in. So if we come in now and request a pit stop, they will actually perform a very short and brief pit stop and not pay out the stop and go penalty. So we're going to keep going.
We have to turn this all the way down. It's a pain in the ass. Make sure that we don't get any virtual energy.
And right now from behind the wheel, we are working with the settings for the pit stop, trying to make sure that we don't apply any virtual energy when we do come in, just in case they start to do some work on the car. It will be a shorter pit stop. If anything, they may just change the tires. And again, that's if by accident we come in and they don't think that we are there to serve the stop and go. Again, we're going to keep going another lap here just in case. And we are given 3 laps to come in to serve any penalty. So we are going to wait until the last lap to come in, just in case. At this point of the race, 15 or 20 seconds spent to come in and not serve out a penalty is a big loss right now, as it is taking us about a whole stint to gain 15 or 20 seconds on the number 36, and that is counting on very good and consistent laps. And right now we are still going back and forth on tire choices. These set of mediums are actually doing pretty well, and we do expect that they'll start to do better as the tarmac gets warmer. Down the Mulsanne straight, a very clear track for the number 8. No other cars to drive around right now. And we just have to put in some very, very good laps. Now for this 24-hour race here at Le Mans, the fastest lap we've seen is probably a 3:34, and that's with this 24 hours of Le Mans and the race conditions. So right now we're trying to target somewhere near there in order to consider it a good or even fast lap. And we are really counting on those faster laps just to be able to make up the time here. Again, we've been able to make up a little bit of time on the number 36, maybe 15 or 20 seconds on the stint. And we continue on with the number 8 out of the Mulsanne corner. Again, no traffic around right now. Having a look around, it is nice and sunny and clear. We are, I believe, 76 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Back with the Alpine as he enters the Porsche curves. Coming around the lone Lexus GT3. A little messy there, and you can see that the back end kind of wiggled a little bit. He is continuing on with very good and fast laps. And right now, good and consistent laps for the Alpine is about 3:38.
Oh, big slide.
So at this point, we are really pushing it with the number 8, and we are taking a little bit of a few risks here going around and lapping.
Don't have a lot of confidence in these tires just yet.
This is the second place LMP2, just behind the United Autosport that we just saw. This is the third place LMP2, the number 37. We had a big crash with him just before the nighttime. Number 4 LMP2. Going back to the number 8 Toyota. We do expect that we will be coming in at the end of this lap again to serve that stop and go. This is the first place GT3, the number 77 Mustang. A brief look at the second place BMW. And this is the third place GT3. It is the number 88 Mustang. So the Fords are doing well in the GT3 class here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The Aston Martin currently in fourth place. Couple of Ferraris, a lone Lexus, and a Corvette to round off the field. But back to the number 8. Entering the Mulsanne corner. That is the lone Lexus GT3 just up ahead. And we'll have to check it later on, but I believe the GT3 class is about 29 laps behind the leader here. The leaders in the hypercar class.
Somebody into the wall here. An LMP2. Maybe he just done a trip in the gravel. Looks like he's still doing pretty well. We are coming in at the end of this lap.
A different view of the number 8 as we circle the track here. This is done with the free camera. And you can kind of make it simulate a drone shot. Here we are coming into the pit lane. And this time we're going to make sure that we are below the speed limit, which is 60 kilometers per hour.
So this is just a stop and go. Hopefully they will not charge the virtual energy or anything else.
Yeah, so on the controls on the steering wheel for the pit stop, we have changed the virtual energy to 0, as well as the fuel, and no tire changes. So hopefully
there is the Alpine.
There will be no pit stop activated. We just come in and serve the stop and go.
Hopefully regain.
Again, that's going to be 10 seconds.
Our lap back at this point.
Yes, that is the number 36 Alpine. Ahead of the number 8 Toyota. He did come in for a pit stop. And that will momentarily...
There's your 10-second stop and go.
...unlap us. And we are back on the track. The number 36 Alpine just about to leave now. So, looks like it was just a 40-second or so pit stop to recharge and refuel. No tire changes.
Gonna change this back to a full 100%. just coming in through the chicane now.
So even though we had that 10-second pit stop, as a result of this pit stop, we have been able to make about 15, 16 seconds. And it looks like until the end of the race that we will be trying to pick up every second that we can on Nicolas Lapierre. And hopefully near the end, we will be within sight and still on the same lap. At this point, there is still a lot of time, but there is no guarantee that we're going to be able to catch up to him and even get around him at that point. And again, right now he is lapping at about 3:38. And right now, the best lap that we can put together on the Toyota is at 3:35. If we can do it consistently, we should be able to catch up to him before the end of the race. But it will also indicate that we can go faster than him once we catch up. And hopefully we can regain the lead.
So right now we're going to have to put in some very, very good laps.
As for most of the race, the number 8 here has led at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Again, a couple of stints ago, we had a couple of really bad spins as a result of worn tires. And it came about, we were expecting the tires to wear, but because the sun came out and the track started to warm up, they degraded very quickly as a result. And we were not able to come in and change out fast enough.
What happened there?
Nope. And
Totally
we're going to drive straight through. That is turn 31, the second part of the first chicane in the Ford S's.
Lap 4:09.12.
At 4:09, who's our 10 second?
So again, that is
Stop and
the
go.
stop and go lap. You can see there on the steering wheel that we are putting together 3:36 and 3:37 laps. Back on board with the Alpine. From the dash, we are trying to see if we can see the Toyota just up ahead, and
So
the
we
Toyota
just
just
put our
exited
brake bias back.
Tetra Rouge.
1 second.
Yes, right now on the track, the number 1, or the first place hypercar is just 17 or 18 seconds behind. And that's simply just how close he is to being able to lap us. Again, we just took our lap back after
Time is
this round of
10:54
pit stops.
Light about 77 degrees. Kind of exactly what was forecasted.
And there we are. The tarmac temperature now is 20 degrees warmer. Now that the sun has come out.
So the mirror with this pit stop was a 4:54. On that last lap with our stop and go, we were at 4:09.
Again, back with the number 36 Alpine coming into the Mulsanne corner. Not very far behind the number 8 Toyota from lapping. We got a quick shot there, but that is not the number 8. That is one of the GT3 Ferraris. That is currently ahead of the Alpine. This is Arnage for the number 8 Toyota.
3:35, good lap.
So there we are, a 3:35 for the number 8. And that time is very important, as that is what we're going to need to be able
Not
to
a
catch
good
up.
time
It is a reasonable lap without taking too many
for the
risks.
Aston Martin.
So again, if we can just do within a second or 2 seconds of 3:35 consistently, we should be able to still catch up to the number 36, definitely before the end of the race. Right now, as we are circling, we're still trying to get used to the difference in track temperature, especially with this set of mediums. Again, we are racing for most of the night with a set of soft tires in the rear and mediums in the front.
.844 virtual energy on the last lap. So we are spending a lot of energy to go fast.
Yes, 8.44%
that
of
is the
virtual
case. We can
energy
actually bring down our
used on the
fuel
last
ratio
lap.
down to 88%.
So we are definitely
so that we
not
don't
trying
carry
to save
an extra
fuel.
2 gallons.
And the highest use that we've actually found is a 851. There, the timing on the lower left of your screen indicates the time difference between the number 8 and the number 36. With the 3:35, we were 3 seconds ahead of the number 36 on the last lap. And this lap should be no different. It is a 3:35, 3:67.
Oh no! Oh, big hit.
Losing
there.
the back end again in the Toyota.
Big barrier. That will kill off any kind of progress that we were just making.
Yes, coming out of turn 1, the back end is very light.
Damaged suspension. And we will need to come in. The steering wheel is askew.
Back to the exit out of turn 1. It is a curve that does open up, but you have to be on the right side, so you have to close it so that you can make the left turn into turn 2. And the transition between the apex and the entrance into turn 2 has a weight transfer from left to right, and and it happens very slowly here for some reason at Le Mans. Slowly because you immediately have to brake, and it really reduces your time. So you do have to watch out when you brake, that you do brake very slowly and moderately initially to slow the car down and get it balanced on the four wheels. If you don't, the back end obviously will come around as it did, just because you are putting brake pressure on the rear wheels that do not have full grip as of yet. So now, having a look at the number 8 Toyota, we do have suspension damage. The HUD indicates that the A-arm is, I think, in yellow, which means that, again, there is some suspension damage. But now we are driving around the Circuit de la Sarthe with a steering wheel that is askew, so it's turned a little bit to the right. There is definitely some damage to the car, but right now it is actually going straight. And right now, before we come into the pits, as we enter Indianapolis, we are calculating, are we going to be able to continue on in this car? Because that is the other option.
So there is damage, but the car is actually driving pretty well. We will see how we feel about coming in after the S's. We are now 307 behind.
So just before that spin out of turn 1, we were actually making very good time on the Alpine. And now after that spin and we are experiencing damage, we are back to where we started before at the beginning of this stint.
Oh, that was very slow.
That time was a 3:49.42.
So crossing the start-finish line once again, we have decided that we are going to try to continue on. Again, right now the car is actually driving fairly well considering the damage in the suspension. You can see there that there is damage in the front end fascia and rear fascia as well. And those will have to be addressed. And that kind of pit stop obviously will take time other than having to stop. But right now the tires are still around 80% or so, so they are still in very good shape. We should still have plenty of virtual energy and fuel, and that may be the only reason why we're going to continue on.
Okay, still running a fast lap. We are going to continue on.
There we are, 40% virtual energy left.
Even though there's damage to the car.
Timing indicates that we are
Very deep there, Corvette.
3 minutes and 4 seconds behind the
Took away our
Alpine.
sight. Thankfully we survived. Still a relatively fast lap.
Even with all the spins, we have been able to remain on the same lap as the leader.
Another car in a turn.
So lost a few seconds there, maybe several seconds to the LMP2 coming out of the Mulsanne corner. So even from far away you can tell that there is damage on the front end of the number 8 as a result of that spin out of turn 1. Now the damage model here in Le Mans Ultimate is still not that great. Right now we can see that the panels are wrinkled, but obviously if it's so damaged that it has changed the steering geometry, that some parts should have fallen off or be hanging and really appear to be broken. But right now the car looks like it's intact from far away. Up close it is wrinkled. So 7 laps complete on this stint. We are just about to come in around again through the start-finish line to complete the 8th lap. We do have damage on the car. If we can stretch this stint into the 11th lap, which is exactly when we will be running out of virtual energy, then we will have successfully run off this stint.
Gotta let the car sit right after turn 3 so you can accelerate out. Seconds now. He may be stuck behind the LMP2. 20 seconds.
Down the Mulsanne straight into the first chicane, we are showing a possible lap that is going to give us a 3:34 time. So right now, even with the suspension damage, we are running fairly fast. Coming up to the BMW, this car is the second place GT3. And indicated on the map there is the distance between first and second place. Second place is nearly 80% of the lap around to first place. But on these long shots, you are able to actually see the leader come in. Not that time around.
Virtual energy. That's the most that I've seen so far.
There we are, definitely using a lot of energy to create faster laps, and right now our
46%
334
left.
has been reduced to a 335, but still that's very good because right now the Alpine, who is in front, is lapping at about 338. Again, if we can make up 2 or 3 seconds on each lap, that is 15 to 20 seconds on every stint.
Not again. Oh.
So that's happened twice here on the same stint. with the number 8.
There's a part of the barrier there that sticks out. Thankfully, it didn't hit that hard this time around.
Again, we already have a broken suspension here in the number 8 as a result of the same kind of impact. And we are trying to continue on.
6.7 now.
Again, there is damage in the front and the rear of the vehicle as well as the front right suspension. There is something wrong with the vehicle right now that is causing it to not sit flat on our four wheels after the exit in turn 1, and that is the reason why we keep spinning into the barrier to the right.
Okay, the 36 is making time.
And again, we can adjust the anti-roll bars in the front during the pit stop, but the rear we do have a button on our steering wheel to adjust it. I believe there are 7 different settings that you can adjust the rear anti-roll bar, and right now we are at either 3, 4, or 5 out of the 7, so somewhere in the middle.
So, halfway through lap 10 of the stint, we do have damage in the front right suspension. You can see the steering wheel is crooked.
Coming in through Indianapolis.
A little bit of time on the number 36. However, we continue to have off-track excursions, and that is costing us every gain that we make on each lap.
And we can have a look right now at the steering wheel. This lap is going to cost us 3 minutes and 43 seconds as a result of that spin coming out of turn 1. But going back to the anti-roll bar, if the wheels are not sitting flat or evenly weighted on all fours coming out of a corner, in this case it's the rear wheels, then we need to stiffen up that anti-roll bar so that the transfer of weight happens much faster. Right now we are trying to continue lapping here, trying to make it to the end of this stint and having to avoid coming in early and putting in an extra 40-second pit stop just for some damage that we can right now drive around. And there is the exit again out of turn 1. There is a car that spun as well. It looks like one of the LMP2s.
At the end of this lap, Mustang
again,
is going
not a real problem
slow.
in the beginning of the race and through the night. But now that the tarmac has warmed up, the tires are more dependent on the grip. Coming out of the chicane, the number 8 seemingly continues to drive fairly well considering the damage earlier in the stint. And again, in this single stint alone, we have spun twice out of turn 1. And while we made time up on the number 36 even after the first spin, Definitely the second spin had taken away any advantage that we may have been gaining through the stint. So we definitely can't do that. The race is closer than ever now, and we are counting the seconds to the last lap with 5 hours to go, as we are going to need every one of those seconds and every one of those laps to be able to catch up to the number 36.
3 minutes and 2 seconds behind.
Right now, 3 minutes and 2 seconds behind the number 36.
We do have our work cut out for us.
So taking a look at the HUD now, or the overlay, we are expected to come in at the end of this lap.
Not a very clean stint. Hopefully we can put a clean one together as we were doing during the night, and that might get us closer to the lead. Right now 3 minutes and 2 seconds behind. Quite a long ways.
And so when we come in for this pit stop, we may consider doing a complete 4-wheel change. Again, so that we can continue on and lap in the 3:35 range in order to be able to make up time. Here we are into pit lane, and hopefully we can hit that speed limiter once again and have it done correctly. A little messy there on the entrance. Back down to 60 kilometers an hour. There we are. So in this pit stop, we may change all 4 tires, but we're definitely going to repair some damage to the suspension and to the front and rear of the vehicle. So that is going to be the factor that is going to cost us a lot of time. Again, we always recharge to 100% for the virtual energy. And in the last couple of stints, our fuel ratio has been down to 88%.
So we got to see the Alpine pass by once again.
So again, we are now 1 lap down of the Alpine, but he will also have to make a pit stop, so hopefully we can get that
31
back.
seconds of repair. That's actually a lot.
There we are, 31 seconds to repair any damage on the vehicle. That's going to do it for the stint. Don't forget to click on like and subscribe so that you can keep up on the saga going on here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. We'll see you next time.